I'm currently shopping for noise canceling headphones with a 1/4-inch wired jack to go into the Focusrite that I've got for these, because Tanika sent me a wacky waving arm inflatable tube man for my desk.
Oh, can you
Too
hear
damn
it?
loud. So, I don't think y'all can hear it, right?
No.
Okay, good. Well,
No, I cannot.
speaking of disastrous audio issues, one of my sponsors is setting up an interview couch at their booth at Vision, and they want me to come and set up mics and cameras and do interviews on the trade show floor. And I'm like, bro, I don't think you understand that.
That's not how that works.
That shit ain't gonna work.
That's not how that works at all.
I mean, I'll try, and they want me to try, but I'm gonna have to turn the gain so far down, and you're just gonna have to scream into the mic from this, like that.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have a hypercardioid mic? That'll probably work.
I don't even know what that means.
It's got a really small field of pickup.
I mean, I feel like you're making a joke about me there.
It's actually the little symbol is actually a Mazda Miata.
So, Chris, I apologize, but we constantly joke about Mazda Miatas because I did buy a shitbox 95 Miata for $500 late last year
and lit it on fire.
And well, I didn't light it on fire. One of my guys did.
Oh, jeez.
Well, extreme ownership. You lit it on fire, Mike.
Yeah. The crispy fried Miata lives again. So now I got to find a top for it because it's got so many leaks.
Did you see one of my guys driving past you? Driving through North Carolina?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Ooh, man. Ooh, doggy. Awesome. Young love, man.
Should we start out with the confession?
I think you need to start with that story, yes.
It's a great story. So we have a young guy that works for us, real nice fella. Well, he did work for us. I guess he doesn't anymore. So anyhow, his girlfriend broke up with him last Wednesday. And he couldn't make it in Thursday. He was pretty distraught. And I was like, whatever. Right? He's 22. He's whatever. And
please tell me that she's like 38 and works at the IHOP.
I don't know. And so anyways, I know her name's August, which should have been that's Red Flag City.
Next up on stage 2.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Any month on the calendar.
So Friday, he can't come either. He's still distraught. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And so it turns out Saturday, he went ahead and beat feet down to Florida, and he's looking for a job down there now. He's had enough up here.
What?
Left his toolbox and his tools.
Oh my gosh. Oh jeez.
Now, is she down in Florida? Is he chasing her?
No, she is still here, from what I understand. He's just.
You should see if she wants to date.
Probably not.
No.
You see what it did to that guy? I don't think
That's
so.
crazy, man.
So yeah. What's my other confession? What was it? Didn't I tell you have to remind me something? Oh, on our training app that I can't get this simple question right that I've been asked 8 different ways now, and I keep getting it wrong. And Jim Kokonis explained it to me, and I'm like, Jim, I just don't care about the question enough, and that's why I keep getting it wrong. I don't care enough to memorize it. I go, I don't care if the stator or the rotor on the alternator is the thing that gets excited by the PCM. I don't care. I just don't care.
So it doesn't everybody knows that it's the rotor that gets excited.
It is actually. Yeah. It is.
I had a 50-50 chance.
Do you know the easy way to remember it, I guess? So now I will remember it now. R comes before S in the alphabet. So that's an input, and it's in the, it's before. Anyhow.
That would not help me at all. So, what's up, Chris? How are you?
Good. Doing good. Super slow this month.
For that 5-minute intro where we didn't talk to you at all. We're trying our best to live our best changing the industry life over here.
It's all good. Totally good.
We're doing great.
I enjoy listening to it.
So are you coming to us live from your shop, or do you have a lift in your garage also?
No, it's from my shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the whole 100 feet from my house takes me a long time to get here.
I know a few guys like that. That's a tough commute, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but it's been a good place to start for sure. So
as long as you keep your customers from knowing that you live 100 feet from the shop.
Yeah, unfortunately, they all know I live there. So,
son of a. When's the last time somebody knocked on your door on the weekend?
It actually wasn't too long ago, but it wasn't. I don't remember if that was a client or not, and it wasn't. It was it was my fault because it was my admin's fault, but she didn't give somebody the right code or something for their keys for their car, so they had to come to the door so I could go get their keys out of the lockbox.
I guess that's manageable.
Yeah.
It's better than having to drive across town to get the keys out of the lockbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I was not happy with my admin, but it's all good. It happens. We all make mistakes, right?
Hey there. I'm going to tell you about something that has completely transformed how I run my shop, TechMetric. As a 20-year shop owner, outdated systems used to slow us down. Everything was clunky, from check-in to estimate building to customer updates. It all felt just super inefficient. Switching to TechMetric has changed everything. With TechMetric, you get a powerful shop management system that includes DVI, quick and easy estimate building, inventory management, real-time reporting, amazing customer communication, and it's really easy for your employees to learn how to use the software. I'm talking like a one-day learning curve. On top of that, TechMetric has tons of other tools to make you an even better operator. Stuff like integrated payments with buy now, pay later options is a huge asset. Ask me how I know. And recently, they've added a CRM component with their partnership with Shop Genie, which I'm a happy Shop Genie customer already. So I'm super excited about that. Now, obviously, there are a lot of factors at play here, but I want to give you some facts about my business since I made the change to TechMetric. In September of 2020, when I switched to TechMetric, my ARO was $293. In September of 2024, we were $916. That's over 300% growth. Now, I'm not saying that TechMetric created all of that change, but I'm 100% saying that I couldn't have come this far without TechMetric. It's a key factor in our growth and success. If you're ready to level up your shop, TechMetric has everything you need: productivity, revenue, customer experience. Measure up by every measure with TechMetric. Tap the link in the show notes to learn more. For those that don't know, we're talking to Chris Enright of Enright Automotive in Alexandria, Ohio.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Got your website pulled up right over here.
Cheater.
Cheetah.
Yeah, subject matter research. And also Chinese spyware superstar, TikToker.
Oh, yeah.
Enright Auto, right?
At Enright Auto on TikTok, yeah, and at Enright Automotive on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook.
What's your biggest channel, social channel?
Instagram. I'm at like 113,000, I think now.
Holy cow, that's awesome!
Yeah, we're getting up there.
I am officially like old guy at this point because when TikTok got shut down, I had just downloaded it like 2 weeks or earlier because I thought I would do a podcast TikTok. And then as soon as it got shut down, I just deleted the app. And then it's not in the App Store anymore, right? And so I still don't have it back. And then last week, Turnkey Marketing, who I use at my business, was giving me a hard time because I don't have Instagram. Like just have Instagram. Just Facebook owns it. It's all connected. Just have Instagram.
Yeah.
And so they're doing that for me because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to do.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram and Facebook are always the ones that I tell people like that's the minimum.
You literally download the Instagram app and then you click sign in with Facebook, Mike. That's not. This
is like a lot of friction.
I know you're not a technical type person, but this is on the easier side of things.
Yeah, pretty basic, but it's definitely something you should have for sure. So that's good. They're getting you set up.
Well, they're taking care of me. They always do. So, so what's new in the world of Enright Automotive?
Nothing really that much. I'm focusing this year, 2025, on growth. I am getting out of this building. So whatever that takes, I'm out of here. So I got to get it figured out. So as of right now, this year, that's my main focus. I mean, last year would have been a really good year as far as like just I've been saving up cash for a while, but I bought a bunch of like equipment last year. I bought a key machine, tire machine, second loaner, shop truck. So I spent a lot of cash that I normally wouldn't last year. And I hired my admin. She was with me for about 6 months. So I obviously had that extra money going out as well. But it was good while she was here. She did a bunch of like backed up projects that I had been working on, which I was so thankful for. So she did a really good job on all of that stuff. So, but yeah, that's like my main focus. Get out of here, get into a bigger building, hire a tech or 2 or 10. And
do you have a target size for the building?
Do what?
Do you have a target size for a building? You want to go to 6 bays, 8 bays, 50 bays? You can go full zip.
So from here, probably 3 or 4 bays to be realistic. I mean, I'm 4 miles from Intel, which is most people know what Intel is, but it's a microchip company, and we started looking for a building about 2 years and a couple months ago, probably a little bit longer now. I don't know, somewhere right around there, and like quite literally like 4 months maybe after we started looking is when Intel announced that they were coming to Ohio. And I was looking at commercial properties that were anywhere from 350 to maybe 500,000, and now I can't find anything under $1 million. So,
oh boy,
it's the commercial properties quite literally insane around here. So I mean, it's great for my personal property. What's that?
The monthly debt service on $1 million note right now?
I have no idea because I didn't even consider it because I can't do $1 million.
I'm such a total nerd when it comes to numbers. I'm like, okay, what does that make your rent factor? Okay, what does that mean your revenue needs to be to get there? And
I know at like I think it was at 500,000. Don't hold me to this, but at that time when we originally looked at 500,000, it was going to be like $3,000 a month. But that was obviously a couple years ago. $300 or $3,500 a month is what it was looking at for about $500,000 a month. So you're probably looking what six or $7,000 a month, depending on the interest.
On a I just asked the AI overlord to do the math real quick.
I'm
one
curious.
thing I got to remember when you use GTP is to tell it, don't show the work, don't go step by step. Just give me the freaking answer. You know,
it wants to lay it all out, like get descriptive on you.
It wants you to know how smart it is. So
yeah, I don't care.
20-year AM, 7% note, 20% down, $1 million. Payment would be $6,200 a month.
Yep. Sounds about right. Yeah, I don't have 20% down either.
It's manageable.
Not on $1 million.
$100,000 a month in revenue, but that works pretty well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm at like 30-ish a month now in my shop that I'm at. Well, except for February this month. It's been a rough February. So I had a record January last month, not a record month, just a record January. And this is probably the worst February I've ever had.
Is it people aren't saying yes, or cars aren't coming in, or the phone's not ringing? What?
Both. Cars aren't coming in and phone's not ringing. So it's just a super slow month. Very, very odd.
Have that admin person?
No, she put in her 2 weeks, like, I don't know, like a month ago. So a couple weeks ago was her last week. So I went around, I made like marketing flyers, and I put together some like goodie boxes, and I've been going around to local businesses and just passing those out and just letting people know that I'm here. I mean, my SEO and stuff usually works pretty good, but I don't know, everything around here, like all the parts stores are super dead. Seems like all the shops around here are super dead.
The Ohio market is really, really soft right now. You are not the first person that has told me that. The Ohio market is super soft right now.
Yeah, like, it's been interesting.
Look, here's the deal. I like to think that I'm pretty good at running an auto repair shop. It's what I've done for 20 plus years, but I'm not good at managing a marketing budget and all the different facets of a truly well-rounded marketing plan. There's mail, there's local advertising, there's website, there's Google AdWords, there's all the different things that go into that, and it's just not what I'm good at. So what I've chosen to do is to buy myself the time to focus on what I am good at while having someone else execute on all of those things at a way higher level than anything I could ever do. That's what turnkey auto marketing does for me. So if you feel like you could use some of that same magic, I'm going to recommend that you go to turnkeyautomarketing.com, get a free consultation, tell them that I sent you, tell them that Confessions of a Shop Owner sent you. You won't be disappointed.
It's been very weird considering like this is my 5th year in business. So, or well, February 1st was my 5th year. It's been definitely the last year span has been a weird year. I mean, obviously we had the election last year too, which didn't help anything. I didn't think it was going to slow down as bad as it did around election time, and it got super slow around then too. But I'm in that like weird growth phase. Like I'll have months where I'll crush it and kill it, and I can't like I don't have enough time to do everything, and then I'll follow up. I'll do that like 3-4 months in a row, and then I'll follow it up with like 2 just god awful slow months, just randomly out of nowhere. It's bizarre, and it's just kind of this up and down, constant ebb and flow. So trying to fill in those low, slow months.
So you're like a bedroom community for Columbus, or is it too far away?
I'm probably like 35 minutes from Columbus.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think about, you're a Honda Acura specialist primarily, right? You work on other stuff, but that's your bread and butter.
Correct. Yeah. About 52 to 54% of my revenue comes from Honda. And then there's like maybe 10 to 12% from Acura.
I'm just sitting here. I'm going into overdrive in my brain, thinking about trying to drive Hondas and Acuras to your bay door.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
that's what I'm always thinking.
Yeah, you can buy mailing list of specific vehicle registrations, so date, year range, and you can tag it to 5-mile radius or whatever the appropriate radius is for your density, and you can mail postcards to Honda owners only and Acura owners only, and say I only want 2007 to 2022 registrations.
Oh, that's sweet. I didn't realize you could get that detailed on it.
Yeah, Brian and Kim can definitely do that for you.
Okay.
So you work with them, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. If you do, great. If you don't, let me hook you up with Carrie Lynn at But
yes, I work with Brian and Kim.
Yeah, that's funny. I've done that with Euro, like Land Rover, that works really well with, and BMW, Mercedes, that works really well with. Audi a little bit less so, but I think
you sent mailers to Land Rover owners.
It's like a $2,500 average repair order, man. They all need tons of shit.
$2,500 average repair order. They take 5 times as long to fix.
They just all need.
It's all like doing 500 on
all
Chevy
leaking
Cobalt.
coolant right now.
It's not that great.
I mean,
it's terrible.
They're all leaking coolant. They all need repairs. It's when they have electrical problems that we're like,
just charge, baby, charge.
The problem is that I don't. Is the issue. So you do a lot of free diag, Chris?
No, but I hear you love it. I don't do any free diag. It's pretty rare. I mean, I can't say I don't do any, but I have done some. But it's pretty rare for me.
Any.
Yes, I would say 99% of my diag work is charged for. There's a small percentage in there. Like I did just do a diag for a kid from Advanced Auto Parts, and I had like 3 hours in it, and I gave him 2 hours for free just to help him out because I was feeling nice. I figured if I'm not going to make any money this month, I might as well make it worse and give away 2 hours of free diag. So felt my heartstrings getting tugged on to help the young kid out. So I did charge him an hour though.
I feel that I should clarify that you should never, ever, 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 ever do free diag if you're small and you've got a lot of cars, or if your facility is going at red line and wide open and you're busy as all get out and you're booking out a week. Why would you give anything away? I advocate for free diag if you're actively trying to grow and you have a lot of capacity for additional cars. That's the only reason. And there's a lot more to it than that, but
well, what's crazy too is like you always hear about these shops that are booked out. I mean, I get the comments all the time. on social media. It's like, I'm booked out 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm like, well, why are you booked out for 2 to 3 weeks? That's not a good thing. And so many people are so convinced that that's a good thing, which is crazy to me. But I mean, I can't say anything because I used to think it was a good thing too.
Yeah. I
You can't get
think
new
2 to
customers
3
that way.
days.
It's
2 to 3
okay to be
days.
booked out 2 weeks on stuff that you don't feel like doing. But
Yeah.
if somebody calls and they're like, "Hey, my brakes are grinding," that needs to be not like 2 weeks. That needs to be
Yeah, I'm booked
like,
out 2 to 3 minutes then. Come on in.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
when can you get it here?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, did you look at that one truck out back yet? No, because it is hostage. They can't drive it away from here. These
Yeah.
brakes grinding. We have iron to hang.
I mean, I had dinner Friday night in Asheville for an ASTA event, and it was a bunch of shop owners from the southern mountains of North Carolina. And there was a dude there who was like, I'm 2 to 3 weeks out. I'm like, man, hire more people, add more bays, or raise your damn rates.
I would say like the majority that I talk to, anyways, when I ask them, I'm like, all right, what's your hourly rate? They're almost always way too cheap. The one dude like showed me a picture of his parking lot and it was slam
85,
packed full, and
$85 an hour.
He was $80 an hour, and I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
80.
you've got to be kidding me. $80
Yeah.
an hour. I said, no wonder you're slam busy. I
I
said,
could
why don't
be
you
booked
raise
out
that?
2 or 3 months at $80 an hour.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when I was at 80, I was 3 weeks booked out most of the time. So, and then I started raising my rates, and now I try 2 to 3 days as my max. I don't like going 3 days, but there are some months where I'm close to a week.
Well, that's the classic entrepreneur technician who goes out and says, I can make a lot of money and do it for a lot less than the dealer or my boss was, right? And
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know, right? And you got to, and some people flounder in that ignorance for a decade or more. And then there are other people who, like yourself, who figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, thank
we
God.
did an episode. We did an episode a couple weeks ago with Josh Coombs in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he's had a brick and mortar for a year, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the most expensive dudes in his market, and
That's awesome.
he's growing rapidly. So it's exciting to see that you don't have to suffer in that wilderness of $75, $85, $95 an hour.
Trying to swim through a sea of broken cars.
Well,
know
and
your
it's
worth,
like,
Queen.
I was thinking about it today too. Is like I did a Stitch video on TikTok the other day because somebody commented on Jamie Caldwell. Do you guys know Jamie Caldwell?
Yeah, Florida, like 3
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah. He posted a video, like he's doing a video series on buying, like what he does when he buys a shop, like what he looks for and all that stuff. And somebody commented on there and like, this is a classic upsell shop. This is where you don't want to go. They make us good mechanics look bad. And I did a Stitch response for that, but I was thinking about it today again, like these are the same guys that say they make those types of comments, but they're the same guys who complain about not getting paid enough and having to buy expensive tools, and you know what I mean?
And they usually can't fix anything anyways. They usually don't know what they're doing anyways.
Like having shitty bosses, and then they go up in their own shop and they get ground down to enough, and they become a
they're
shitty.
Like, I'm special. I don't know anything, but I don't do flushes. That guy doesn't know anything, and he does splushes. He sucks more than I do. You both don't know anything. What's the difference?
Oh gosh!
Anybody who does it differently than the way that I do it is either obviously unethical or stupid.
Oh my gosh!
I did the way that I do it is the
I did a live stream on I was doing my wife's axle the other day on her Odyssey on Sunday or whatever day it was. And I was like, oh, I never do live streams and work on cars or even do videos and work on cars because I absolutely hate it. I would rather people talk trash to me about tools than the way I'm doing my job. And of course, I'm doing the axle, and they're like, there's a tool for that. And I'm like, yeah, my hammer in my hand to break the ball joint loose. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, just leave me alone for the love of God. Let me do my axle, please. I've only done probably thousands of them in my career.
Chris and I will come across a couple things on social media, and our favorite saying is, oh, there's something in the water again. That's been going around lately again. There's something in the water again, I think.
Don't you feel like it goes through phases? I feel like we'll, like, have, like, a couple months where it's, like, just idiotic comment after idiotic comment, and then it'll, like, die down, and then for a couple months, and it'll come back, and
they're
it's like
shamed into hiding for a little while.
something. I don't get it, but it is bizarre. And it's like, it's in the Facebook groups, it's on my comments, on my videos. Brian gets them. I'm like, where are these people coming from? It's like they all get together and talk about it like, hey, let's go out and make some stupid comments today.
Well, most of the times I deserve it because I'm usually mouthing off pretty good. But
I believe still stupid. Brian is getting more and more savage in front of our eyes in real time. I mean, some of the shit I'm seeing him put on comments are just, and I'm not even in a lot of the technical groups that I know that you guys are in, but I think there was one today about it was air suspension on an old Ford.
Oh gosh!
He was like, "How are you asking this question? Everyone has known this for 25 years. Just read the manual."
Yeah. Oh, gosh. And then somebody's like, "The guy's probably not 25 years old." Are you saying that he can't read the manual because he's too young? Like, what are you trying to say? And somebody's like, "You could have just told him what the problem is." And I'm like, "Well, then what?" I'm like, he listened to somebody else's instead of reading the manual. He didn't take my advice. He took the advice of some rando in the comments. See, and this is my issue with these groups with the technical advice. He took the issues of some rando in the comments. Do you know what the rando in the comments told him to do? Told him to go drive the Crown Victoria with the airbags flattened out. So guess what it needs now?
Oh gosh,
it needs 2 airbags. Good thing you didn't read the manual. Good thing you listened to the rando in the comments who's just as stupid as you are. How'd that go?
He listened to the answer that was easiest to follow. Because that's what
he could have looked it up in the amount of time it took him to type the post out. He could have looked it up.
How much you want to bet he doesn't have service information?
Guaranteed he doesn't have service information.
I told you the shop
$85 an hour and booked out 3 weeks.
He's probably booked out 2 months and he's probably freaking $54 an hour because he doesn't have service info and it's freaking cash, no tax, and who knows what else.
That's that local guy I told you guys about. He just stopped by the shop the other day because his wife's vehicle is having issues. He's like, "You ever heard of that?" And I'm like, "I bet you if you had service information, you could look up the bulletin on that car and find out exactly what's wrong with it. But instead, you're coming to me for the answer. And oh, sorry, I don't have the answer for you." Like I get tired of giving him free information. So I'm like, "You're a shop and you don't have all data." He has nothing. He has literally no service information, and it's a shop. I'm like,
he has Google.
I got a call from a guy. I asked him if he followed the bulletin on how to regen the truck. He said, "Well, we don't have service information." How are you working on late model diesel pickup trucks? You don't have service info. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to call Bosch and ask him how they made it? Like, you're going to Google it? Like, what are you even talking about right now?
I don't know. I think people just
freaking water, man.
Get stuck in they just get stuck in their ways, I guess.
I should have asked him for a zip code. You can look all that stuff up through Freedom of Information. I should have asked him for a zip code and then looked up how much fluoride was in his water.
Oh my gosh.
Guarantee it's through the roof. Epic level.
My wife is a dentist and she's very much pro fluoride.
That's okay.
So I tease her about it because more and more people are very anti-fluoride now, and so anytime
I honestly don't know what the deal is. I just know that it's a thing that people talked about, so I just stuck it in there. I really don't know what the deal is.
She went to a chiropractor last week, and the chiropractor gave her a bunch of literature about different things, and one of the things it was a supplement, and it was. The information with the supplement was talking about the different man-made chemicals that are destroying our bodies, yada yada yada. It was very granola. And they were talking about there's a natural fluoride that is like a wonderful, but don't confuse this with the fluoride that's added to your drinking water, which is a horrible man-made chemical that is killing you.
Oh no,
it's amazing. It was amazing.
Oh gosh,
anyway. We were just having paper?
No, we laughed about it and we went on about our day.
Oh,
so, that's awesome.
She doesn't get really upset about stuff like that. She doesn't go on, moral crusades for things like that. So,
I would have burnt the guy's Facebook page to the ground. Just saying.
Oh my!
I've seen me do it.
You're becoming very good at burning Facebook pages to the ground.
Oh my gosh!
And generating dirty deletes from people.
Oh,
One of the things that I'm learning about some of you guys that it never even occurred to me, and it should have, because years ago when I first got to be good friends with Lucas, I would see how frequently he takes screenshots of conversations. And you guys take screenshots of Facebook posts and the comments all the time.
Yeah, it's literally my job to research and document. That's what I do for a living. I figure shit out. I research and document. If you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about and you're doing work out of a storage shed and you don't even have a tax ID number, I'm gonna freaking find out. And if I can't find out, I guarantee you I know a woman who will find you. Professional internet researchers.
You gotta have the receipts, man. That's why you screenshot.
You gotta save your receipts, man.
Gotta save your receipts. I always keep my receipts, especially when I know I'm 100% right.
Yep.
Somebody dirty deleted last week, and I commented on it, and then some dude called me out for sounding like a teenage girl for saying dirty delete.
Did you screenshot it?
No, I didn't. Now I can't go back.
You got to have it for next time he says something that sounds like he's a teenage girl. Go ahead. You can file that in your phone, Mike. You can put it on a different file.
That's awesome.
Chris, did you see the one I dropped about firing the guy because I hired a guy with too big of a toolbox? Did you see that one that I put in that auto shop owners hangout?
No, I left that group because I was so sick of all the idiots. So I left that group.
So it's so stupid. The new fun thing that we do is usually around Friday night. We try to post something that is just insanely outrageous, but because of how crazy some of the real posts are, it's somewhat believable, right? So this past Friday night, I posted
there were some really good ones Friday night.
Yeah, I posted that I hired a new technician, and I kind of overpromised. I promised him 2 bays, and he shows up, and I had a picture of a Snap-on Mr. Big Toolbox. He shows up with this toolbox, and I didn't really count on his toolbox taking up that much room, so I had to fire the guy that worked in the other bay because I didn't have room for his little toolbox anymore. And now he wants unemployment, and he's talking about a wrongful termination lawsuit. What should I do? I put that in there. If people, I'm not kidding you, 75% of the people took it hook, line, and sinker. They swallowed the bait. They freaking swallowed the bait. The fish are dead. You can't get the hook out. They swallowed the bait, man. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I did a good one on that one.
There were hilarious. A lot of good ones Friday night. There was JK did the one about how his technician knocked up the wife of his number one fleet account. Should he fire the technician or lose the fleet account?
Oh my gosh.
Josh Coombs.
The boots.
He did one where he buys the footwear for the guys, and he had to let his tech go, and he made him leave the work boots behind. The used work boots.
God, the sad part is those sound like something that shop owners do.
I know.
Gosh.
You know, the thing that makes it so funny is that it's just believable enough that people come in and they're like, "You really need help here." Like people, like out of the goodness of their heart, are trying to give advice to
75% of the comments were like, "Yeah, this is kind of how this goes. You need to talk to an attorney." And the other thing, I'm like, "This isn't real, man." But they don't know because some of the real posts are that crazy, right? They don't know.
Like I said, that's exactly why I left that group. I could not take it anymore.
Oh,
Jeff Barnes started his with serious question. When you go get parts that pull apart, do you pass the core charges and the $3 entry fee on to the customer?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was way too much bourbon at once.
That's awesome. Oh,
that was great.
I digress. Anyway,
$3 entry fee. Oh gosh, that's good.
The title of the podcast is Confessions of a Shop Owner. So we want to ask, do you have any confessions that you'd like to share with us? No one will hear it. Your secrets are safe with us. But about how the shop's going right now, any confessions?
Like, I don't know. I mean, No, I mean, I'm having a terrible
You don't
February. I'm
trust
like,
us? You think that we would tell someone else?
no, I mean, I don't care if everybody knows. I'm one of those people. I would literally tell you everything. I do not care. I'm quite literally $20,000 less than last month. It's so bad right now.
Mm.
I'm like, this blows hard, but it's all right. It happens. We'll pick back up.
February
And
historically has been the slowest month of the year for us for 20
yeah,
years.
you know what's funny is like 2 years ago we took our like first. It was almost 2 week vacation, and I've never taken that long of a vacation before. And right before then, it was super slow. And we went on our vacation. While I was on vacation, I got so many calls, and then when I got back, I was buried for like a week or something like that, and then dead again. So it was so bizarre. I'm like, oh, it's just only because I'm leaving. That's the only reason people are calling me is because I'm
Right?
out of town and I can't fix their cars. So
You just need to plan a vacation and tell everyone you're going on vacation, and then just hang out at the shop.
I legit have thought about doing that. I'm not lying because that happens every single time without fail. I'm actually going out of town this Thursday and Friday, so I'm curious to see how many calls I start getting tomorrow and Wednesday. So,
Speaking of going out of town, are you going to any trade shows or training events this year?
I'm for sure. I always go to ASTA for sure. It's the one I don't miss. My wife loves that one too. I might go to Tools. I'm not 100% sure yet because this year I'm not doing as many trade shows because I did so many last year because I was teaching. And like I said, I want to focus on the shop. But I'm going to do SEMA this year for content creation. So, and collabs, like getting connected with more companies to collab with on social media. And then there's some sort of tool show in Florida, but I can never remember the name of it. But it's like tools only essentially, and it's like basically a tool expo. And then Milwaukee usually invites me to the pipeline event as well, so I have that. So I'll do those. But as far as like just automotive training, ASTA for sure, and then maybe tools.
You should go to Tools in Pennsylvania.
I had a really good time last time, so it was.
I'm gonna go. I probably won't leave early this time.
Okay.
I think I got this whole dancer's title thing straightened out. I'm gonna have to leave early.
This will be my first time going to Tools. It'll also be
Oh,
my
you're
first
going?
time going to
Nice.
Vision. So I've never been to either, but I'm excited
like
about
Vision.
Tools.
I went to Vision. I won the scholarship. How many ever years ago that was? I think it's been 3 years now. Excuse me. And I had a really good time. Last year, I was not super impressed with the classes. A lot of basic classes, and I got that a lot from other people. Just talking to people, I got the same response or same feedback. But it wasn't like that the first year I went. So I don't know if it was just randomly that year. I mean, I obviously know there's new classes every year, or it could have just been the classes I picked. I will say that because I knew I was going to so many training events, I went to a lot of trainers that I did not know or never heard of, and so that could have been why as well. So I don't know.
I'll tell you from pulling the curtain back a little bit from the logistics of putting on a training event, and ASTA Expo is a quarter the size of Vision, right? But it will be bigger this year than it's ever been because we're going to a bigger facility. We're finally going to a nicer facility where we can spread out a little bit more.
Sweet.
And the air conditioning works.
And the air conditioning works, and the roof doesn't leak, and yeah, all those things. But striking a balance between entry level, journeyman level, expert level classes, striking a balance between the coaches that everybody wants to hear from and giving some new people a chance to cut their teeth and see if maybe they're the next person that everybody wants. It's challenging when you have a limited number of classroom spaces. So I'm excited to see what happens this year at the Expo because we're going to have way more classroom and way more trade space.
That's cool.
So, I'm cautiously optimistic that it will be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's always different perspectives, right? Like, because I never thought about that as far as like being limited, and then obviously you have to pick and choose which classes. I'm assuming you guys always have
turn away like 25 classes last year.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So I was just going to say there.
And now I'm like, please God, I hope they submit again this year because we have space for them, and I don't want to piss them off.
Right.
So,
yeah, that'll be
That's
cool.
a tough position to be in.
It is, well, and I feel like the classes always fill up, like the really good ones always fill up really fast, and then sometimes there's nothing left. Like you're just stuck taking whatever, a filler class, or you just hang out. So it's always good to have. I mean, that's how I felt about STX. Like there was no shortage of classes, but being that they're only every 2 years is a little different. And World Pack is massive, of course. So
yeah.
But I
Actually,
equate, like I told people STX is like ASTA, but just way bigger. But like the feel was really cool about it. Like that's what I like about ASTA, because the cultures, it's so much different than any of the other training events that I've been to. So like that's why it's the one that I won't miss, because I love the culture. So
well, awesome. I'm excited to have you down there. I'm trying. So, like, we're moving downtown Raleigh this year, right? So it's
cool.
Not as convenient to the go-kart track as it has been.
Yeah.
In the past, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for the opening night party. Thursday night's a hard night to get an entire restaurant and bar rented in a downtown district because it's one of the biggest nights for them. And so trying to find something fun and a little bit obnoxious and a little bit
pizzas. Order a lot of pizza, Mike.
We do pizza party Friday night, dog.
Freaking pizza party.
We bought like 400 pizzas last year on the same night as the ASOG dinner.
We got to get something shipped in from Buffalo. We have to talk about your pizza, Mike.
Okay. Little Caesars, one topping only.
Oh my gosh.
That's some serious ESO stuff right there.
Evil show operator.
Evil show operator.
There you go. Well, cool, man. How was your experience teaching? Loved it, hated it?
I loved it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, are you talking to me or Brian?
I'm not talking to Brian. I'm talking to him all the time.
I love teaching. Honestly, I definitely see it in my future for sure. Whether that's social media or something else, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I was a nervous wreck the first few times, but I got super comfortable with it and really enjoyed it. Honestly, if it wasn't just me in the shop, I would be pursuing it more currently. But it was really tough last year to take all that time off, obviously, and not have the revenue from the shop and not get paid while it's there. So, that was rough.
Who were you teaching for, or were you just Chris Enright teaching?
I was teaching with Shop Marketing Pros.
Okay, all right. What content were you teaching? Were you teaching technical stuff, or were you teaching
social media?
Oh, well,
yeah. So Brian did the marketing side. He taught like the marketing side of things. Then I taught the like short form and social media for shops and how to use it. So yeah, it was really fun. I really liked it.
Would you want to teach social media, or would you want to teach that and technical?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a different set of students in the class for sure.
I know. I don't know if I have the confidence. I tell Brian and Jeff this all the time. Like that's my biggest thing when it comes to technical stuff. I don't feel like I have the confidence enough to teach technical stuff.
I can make it up. Everybody else does. You just make it up.
I could teach maybe technical stuff on like shop owner side, but then again, I feel like there's so many more people who know much more about shop owner stuff than I do. So I think
we need some surface level technical training for service advisors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just basic fundamentals of how systems work explained in non-technical jargon.
You run into that dangerous situation where you teach them a couple things and then they think they know stuff. And then they're out there giving wrong answers, sounding like idiots. And you're in the back bay rolling your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I tell that kid that? Because now he thinks he understands how this works.
Oh gosh.
Or you teach them and you get, what was it? What does he call me? Oh gosh. I can't remember. He called me like a country hick or something like that. One of my feedbacks for one of my class said that I was arrogant and a country hick or so. I can't remember. Like the complete, like I'm definitely arrogant in a lot of things for sure. So he was right on about that, but
also super humble.
Yeah. I'm
way more humble than you.
But the country thing was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. Then I found out who he was, what shop he was with, who his mom was in the shop, and I looked up their
Turns out
social
you
media
banged his
page.
mom about 10 years ago.
Their social media page had like 300 followers, and he said I didn't know what I was talking about, and like went on this whole rant about this whole thing. And I was like, all right, well, is it legit or not? Like, maybe it's possible because these are my first few classes I've ever taught, so I don't want to be like, oh, he's wrong. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and think about this. And I was like, well, let me look and see what their social media is. So I found out who he was. He like left his name there, left his phone number. So I found their shop, looked at their social media, and I was like, that's all I needed to know. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. And that was it. And so I just moved along.
300 followers. We have 300 followers by accident on ours. We've never done anything with it. We put a picture of the dog on there like in 2014. We get 300 followers by accident. That might not be true. I don't know how many followers we have.
Well, I don't claim to know everything, but
What's that, Mike?
Wilco Auto Care?
Yep.
We're going to find out. Do you have a page?
I don't know. I think we do. We definitely do, because I keep getting the alerts that it's
Wait a
Messenger.
minute. Yeah, you do. There's the first post that comes up is a big post from Sean White is at Wilco Auto Care in February of 2020, and it's a pizza party for your staff.
February of 2020. Was that the last post?
That's just the first one that came up when I searched you.
And that wasn't even our post. That was just somebody saying he was there.
The most recent one is Carm and Tracy with you. Carm and Tracy.
Oh, we have a couple things on there.
It's all Carm and Tracy. They should. Do they manage your social media for you by proxy?
I don't know. I don't think so. We don't do any marketing. I don't know how it works.
Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. I'm back to 2021, and y'all haven't generated a post yet. It's all other people tagging you.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't lie to you, Mike. I wouldn't lie to you about how incompetent I
am. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So anyway,
yeah, I wouldn't lie to you and be like, I'm way more incompetent than you think. That would be like a stupid spot to lie. I should lie the other way.
Well, like I stopped doing any social media at all like a year and a half ago, and I just got signed up again with Turnkey, and they're like, "Oh my God, Mike, how can you be so stupid?" So
it's free, man. It's free.
I got a lesson in how the thing is way more complicated than I thought it was. Like I thought that you just put some posts out and this, that, and the other thing. And Dan and Rachel over to Amtown, they're like, "Oh, Rural Joe, you don't know any better." They're like, you poor thing. You're in your own little world up there. That's what they say. You're in your own little world up there. You don't know how all this auto repair stuff works.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty crazy what you can do with social media. That's for sure. If you do it right. I mean, even like if you look at the whole Dave's auto drama, like it still helps him. Like even with all the negativity that he's gotten, it still does him good. So,
yeah.
Well, and he has YouTube warriors coming to his defense who are just fans of the page and of kind of the energy they put out there, and maybe they don't know shit about cars, but they come to his defense, and that's all that matters.
Don't matter, man. They're on the interwebs. They're all experts.
I mean, I've told people from the beginning.
Janitor at the middle school. Night job, automotive expert.
Keyboard automotive expert.
Yes.
But that's what I said from the beginning is like he doesn't do the social media. All he does is goes out there, his guys like, hey, we're gonna record a video on this car. This is what the tech's doing. Here's what you're gonna talk about, and go. And there we go. And that's how that, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like he's sitting around brainstorming about social media content. Which technically, I mean, when you're a bigger shop like that, that's the way it should be.
He's like the Joe Biden of it. He's holding up an intake air temp sensor on a Dodge and telling everybody it's a MAF sensor. I'm like, they don't even have those on them things. What are you talking about? You're confused.
God. I don't think he ever deleted that video either. I'm pretty sure they left that up. That was one of my biggest complaints.
It's like which it doesn't matter whether it's good press or bad press. It doesn't matter if the number is positive or negative. It's that many digits away from zero.
I mean,
That's how it
you're
works,
not
man.
wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my biggest complaint because I talked about his page in my classes, and I was like, well, I like Dave's Auto, but I'm like, he doesn't delete or admit when he's wrong very often. So I'm like, just keep that in mind when you're following his page.
He doesn't
But
care. He's a baller.
it's still good
Well, I think
content.
we've
Like you can't.
learned. I think in the last decade we've learned that you just say whatever the fuck you want to say confidently and never apologize.
You're not wrong.
You learned that. You
Right.
learned that last week in a group chat with Zeb, not in the last decade. Say whatever you want. Never apologize. World Domination 101.
Unfuck you, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the way he apologizes?
Yeah.
Or is that you?
Yeah, that's his apology. Yeah, he's awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that you don't have to. You definitely don't have to.
I'm now scrolling Dave's Auto Center. I always hear people reference them in some kind of drama, but I've never followed any of their stuff. So
if you look at his, if you pull up him on YouTube and then you scroll back down through his videos, you can see it's like a black and white line or a black line drawn of when before they hired their editor, whatever's doing their social media, and then after, because their videos went from like a couple thousand views to maybe 10,000 views to like 400,000 views out of nowhere, like just randomly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's like a wall. It's crazy.
oh my God.
I was scrolling through.
He's got a video from last month that's got 900,000 views.
It's insane. It's absolutely wild.
They're doing something.
Royalty Autos do the same way. Like they started YouTube and they got roasted because they were only doing TikTok for a long time. And then they started a YouTube page and they would like record the video like they normally would. But at the very end of the video, they'd be like, well, if you want the answer, head over to our YouTube page. And people destroyed them in the comments. They hated them for it. So then they finally stopped doing that. And they're like, we heard you guys loud and clear. We'll give you the answer. Because people it's weird. TikTok's like the one platform out of all of them that I feel like, and I don't know, I don't have the stats for this. This is just my feeling, but I hear it a lot. Is like if you have TikTok, it's the only app you have. Versus like if you have Instagram, a lot of times you'll have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like you'll have multiples, but there's a lot more people on TikTok that only have TikTok than someone who's just on Facebook and only on Facebook. So they don't want to go anywhere else. They want to stay on TikTok. So trying to force them to another page, people get upset. So
well, I guess they're gonna have to learn how to fix cars themselves.
Well, I don't remember if you saw that when Chuck, he was doing a video and it was like an ad with AutoZone and people lost their minds because he was doing ads. They're like, we don't want to see AutoZone ads. And I'm like, see what happens when you have a bunch of shade tree DIYers follow you that want silver bullet answers.
I only got TikTok because you and Jeff sent me so many TikTok things, and I was so sick of the way it opened on my phone without TikTok. So then I got it. And then I deleted it. But if you have an Android and you're a little bit technical, you can get it back on there. So that's what I did.
All right, look, so I'm super behind on automotive social media. So who are the rage bait ones that I need to follow? I followed Dave's and Royal just while y'all were talking.
Mr. Subaru.
Mr. Subaru. Oh.
You'll really
he knows everything. Just watch the video. He knows everything there is to know about everything there ever was. He's the best tech ever, which is why he's doing so good with his shop that he doesn't own.
Top 5 reasons Subaru beats Toyota is his first post. So he's an idiot.
I can't.
He's
probably a nice guy. I shouldn't say things
super
like
nice
that.
guy in person. It's all
probably
online
a nice
persona.
Yeah, he's probably a really nice guy.
I met him 2 years ago at the Milwaukee Pipeline event, and I was very surprised. Like I knew that there are people that had like online personas and like portrayed, whatever this type of person, but I had never like actually met anybody like that because like I am who I am. Like you see my posts, I'm no different from my posts to what I am in person. And when I met him, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's nothing like his videos. Like, super nice, genuine, like just really friendly guy. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't deal with all the drama. I don't do drama. That's why I never stitch any of those Dave's videos or get into all that crap with all them guys. I'm just like, I don't care. It's like high school girl drama crap. Like, just let's post good stuff. Like, like the stuff where somebody's whining and crying about having to pay for Diag or something like that. Like, let's do videos on that kind of stuff.
I never have that problem.
Oh boy.
We do have today. We had it's a 2007 Ram 1500. Customer called in asking for a price on an alternator. When they call in asking for a price on something, sometimes it can be difficult to be like, I don't know. We need to inspect that first, right? And we're going to charge you to inspect. So for us, it's what type of problem are you having? Anytime you are having that problem, it's really important that I have one of my ASC certified technicians inspect that for you. I'm going to do that for you at no charge and give you a complete written estimate, and I can do that right now. Does that sound good? Right? So that's super easy, right?
Yeah.
Pay the technician, you eat the loss on the assumption that you'll be able to win them over and get the repair. And on this one, the vehicle is dead because it needs an alternator. And so we took the jump and towed it in also, right? So we're double into it. Definitely needs an alternator and a battery, and I'm sure that he'd be happy to do that, but the frame's about to break in half from the rust.
Ooh.
So it's like, hey man, you absolutely need an alternator and a battery.
How'd you get one of my cars down there?
And I would like to tow it back to you right now, and I'm just going to eat both tow bills and the Diag because I can't, in good faith, put an alternator on this vehicle.
We had a RAV4 today that just needed spark plugs, and about right up by the timing cover, you could actually inspect the inside of the crankcase from the outside. Just needed spark plugs. It's where had a window in the engine block. Yeah, it needs spark plugs. Yeah, but whatever you say, listen, dog pound.
If you were going to charge him any more than $50, you were ripping him off. Just so you know.
What is had a red flag call today? So we were super short staffed today, so I actually had to answer the phone some. I even wrote some people up and did some sales calls. It was fucking awkward. It was terrible.
Look at you. Look at you doing all those worky type things.
Well, and the dudes at the shop were like, we'll handle it.
Like, get out of here. This place runs smoother without you.
It so does. But it was, hey, how much for a tune-up on my Mazda? Like, nobody calls to ask for a tune-up. That means they're having a problem, right? And they're hoping that a tune-up will fix it because that's what their uncle's, grandfather's, cousin's neighbor said, right? Mm-hmm. I said, well, what type of concern are you having that makes you believe that you might need a tune-up? Oh, I've just never done one, so I'm pretty sure it just needs a tune-up. Yeah, but what type of problem are you having? I don't have any problems. I just need a tune-up. I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
But same deal, right? It's a little bit easier to deal with that. Well, anytime you think you might need a tune-up, you need to have it inspected by one of our technicians. We'll give you a complete estimate for anything we see that you need at no charge, and we can look at it this afternoon. You want to come in right now? So, I mean, it's still easy to win it, but she's fucking lying. She's got a problem. There's something going on. It's got a noise, or Jiffy Lube, drained the oil and didn't put it back in, or whatever.
Or put 12 quarts in it.
Yeah.
It's huffing and puffing because it's got 12 quarts and a 4-quart motor.
Yeah.
Do you
name it.
Mike, do you track your analytics on, because like I know you said the assumption is that you're going to win that over, but do you track the analytics of the ones you do and don't win over? Like how often are you not getting the jobs?
Not individually. I just look at kind of the large scale numbers.
Okay.
It's one of the easiest things about TechMetric, the best software in the market.
That's right, baby.
Is I just look at
it's not here.
Look at overall closing rate, average repair order, and tech.
Did you see Chris try to whip out his TechMetric swag?
Hold on.
He's just looking for it. He's got to go get it.
Best software ever.
Oh, you got the same cup as I do.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So you're just looking at the overall big picture then.
Yeah. So I mean, if I look at closing rate and effective labor rate, so giving away free Diag, right? And you still pay your technicians for it. It kills your effective labor rate. So jack up your base rate to offset the time you're giving away across the board. So that's what Brian always tells me is I charge for diag. I just charge everybody for that person's diag.
Yeah, he's just a commie.
But last month our closing rate was 33%. Average repair order was $966. So it was roughly a $3,000 tech average quote. I feel pretty good about that. That's where I want to be, and effective labor rate was where I wanted it to be. So I keep trying. Now, if those numbers start to tank, then I'll dig deeper. But as long as the numbers are hitting our goals, then we keep trucking.
So. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I just wasn't sure if that's what you were doing, like just the overall close ratio, or if you were tracking like individually which ones. But if you're doing it on every car, I mean, obviously that makes sense. Like,
I guess you could pull the reports to see what the closing rate and what the average repair order was on tickets that had a 1 hour diag at no charge.
Right? Yeah.
Because if they need like 4 hours of extensive diag, we do charge them for that. Like we give them an hour to get a baseline, and then we charge for secondary testing if it's necessary. But that's 1 in 10 diags need additional testing at a charge. So
yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I don't get too many. I mean, obviously working on Hondas, you don't get too many difficult diags. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. An hour, most of them, 9 out of 10, I get figured in an hour, and then.
How do you specialize in cars that last forever and don't fuck up?
Timing belts. Timing belts.
You do a lot of maintenance. A lot of maintenance.
Solenoids.
Yeah. Yep. Spool valves.
Valves. Timing
belts. Timing chains. Because people
Sparkle
are going to do oil changes.
Yep.
Sparkle plug. 105K services, valve adjustments, valve cover gaskets. Lots of brakes. Lots and lots of brakes.
He does a lot of timing chains after somebody else already put a cam sensor in it.
I get a lot of those too.
Yeah,
I do get a lot of people that have been around to like multiple dealerships. Somehow, how do you go to a Honda dealership and they can't figure out a timing chain? Just mind boggles.
Those and we get that, and we get the people that got the crank sensor and they've got the noisiest starter motor electrically on the face of the planet. And it's like in the freeze frame, it says the car was at 0 RPM. Like it gives you the answer. Like you could like even not even do anything. You just blindly put a starter in it and fix the car, and people still don't do it.
Yeah, but
it's wild.
There's not much training going on, so they have no clue as why. Like coming from the dealership background, like even the training that I got was very, very basic. So like the Honda school training, it's very basic.
Well, hey man, good. I hope that the dealerships keep being terrible. Right? Because that's good for us.
It is good for us.
And let's not kid ourselves. There's plenty of terrible aftermarket shops also.
Yeah. So, I will say that's where I get most of my
the ratios the same.
Independent. Yeah.
The qualified, the good technicians, whether it doesn't matter. You have to go through the same amount to find a good one, whether it's a dealer guy or an independent guy. It doesn't matter.
What do you think the ratio is for overall shop quality, like middle of the road, average?
Like, what do you mean? Able to correct and not do a hack type repair? Like able to diagnose the car and not do a hack repair?
Dealership, chain stores, independents. I think independents probably have the worst rate of poor quality repairs.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, that's what I've gotten.
Yeah, I agree
for sure. But I don't know. Dealerships are pretty close second. I mean,
they are, and you know what happens is not a lot of those cars escape. Like you don't get to find out about them.
Yeah,
like I get to find out about a fair amount of people that were charged $2,400. And we're gonna try an EBCM, but there's no guarantee. And then the car comes to me, and I fix the wire that was broke.
Yeah.
Right. Like I get to see those stories. Most shops don't get to see those stories.
I mean, when I was at the dealership, they put an engine in a lady's car because it was knocking, and he put the engine in, and then it was still knocking afterwards. And guess what it needed? A compressor.
Compressor.
So then guess what they did? They didn't give her the compressor for free. They sold her the freaking compressor afterwards too. I mean, I'm like, you guys are straight up thieves. It's insanity. How do you sell someone an engine
like stuff there?
Give her the compressor
she
for
should
free.
have paid for the compressor. You just had a free
Yeah,
motor.
well, she should have, but I mean, I don't know. It's crazy.
Think they charged
And
her for
then
the diag on the compressor? That would have been sick.
oh, they charged her everything. They
They
literally charged her everything. I'm not kidding. Then
like
they had
$1,100 more because she needed a compressor when it was done.
we
Oh
had
my
a
God.
RAV4 in for a and this was a Honda dealership, so we everybody whined and complained about anything that wasn't a Honda. And we had a RAV4 that came in for a steering rack, and you know how Toyota is with their labor rates. It was 18 hours to do a rack because they want you to pull the engine.
Yeah, an hour and 10 minutes later, the rack's
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
exactly. And so they're like, "Oh, we'll cut her a break," and charged her 15 hours. I'm like,
Hey, man.
"Guys, like
Flat rate or flat broke, baby.
it was just crazy." I mean, but again, then I went to an independent shop and I misdiagged a car like 3 times and the ticket ended up being like $4,000 and the owner flat out told me, "I love this guy." And I'm like, "Dude, what happened was it ended up being something was missing from the wiring diagram. I can't remember who we were using, Mitchell or All Data, one or the other, but there was something missing on the wiring diagram that was never there. And so I think I can't remember. I can't remember exactly how it all panned out as far as what I misdiaged, but I misdiaged it several times. And it ended up needing something simple, like a wire was broke or something, right? And they charged her full boat. And his exact quote was, "Man, this guy makes me a lot of money. I love this guy." I'm like, "Dude, this was my mistake. This was not the client's. Like, I'm the one that misdiagnosed it. Technically, it was the wiring diagram, but I still screwed up. Like, I should have known. So it was my fault." And so that was, I have it from both sides. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know. I just can't do that
It's
kind
the
of crap.
same everywhere.
It
It's the
is.
same everywhere. Unfortunately.
Dishonest people are going to be dishonest. So.
Yep.
What is it that Roman says? 10% of people will do the right thing no matter what. 10% of people will do the wrong thing no matter what, and 80% in the middle can be swayed one way or the other.